Welcome to @Cronkite News, your social sharing connection where you choose the news. Facebook likes and shares, tweets, retweets, and favorites. YouTube views and subscriptions. We're watching you, watch us. From our digital home at cronkitenews.azpbs.org to your television, web browser, or mobile device. Let's get a refresh on the top Arizona news of the week.
Known for its copper mines and as the birthplace of many Democratic politicians, including Rose Mofford, Gila County had one of the highest Republican voter percentages among all Arizona counties. This is the third presidential election in a row which heavily favored the Republican candidate, chipping away at once considered pro-union liberal stronghold. Jesse Canales reports how two mining communities are adjusting to their new reality.
A county proud of its mining roots. Union workers and a diverse community have long spawned a Democratic county.
I was born and raised in Globe.
Lido Rodriguez left his hometown of Globe to serve in the Marines during the Vietnam War. When he returned, he began working in the copper mines and joined the union. He spent the next 4 decades inside those mines.
There was a strong political Democratic Party here with most of the elderlies that are already gone.
Like the pennies made of copper, the times they were a-changin'. The breakup of unions after the loss of copper jobs modified the political dynamic.
I don't know, things started turning around on us, and we have no unions in this area anymore. It's all controlled by companies themselves.
Statewide positions, the county as a whole is voting almost 2-to-1, if not more, for Republican candidates.
George Califf, president of Data Orbital, a data analysis and political consulting firm, says this election, the shift to voting for conservative candidates in Gila County continued.
I was looking for somebody who really was not a career politician.
President-elect Donald Trump's business experience and promises to cut back on the EPA regulations had some Miami Globe residents thinking of the benefits it can bring their copper towns.
Copper is needed in so many areas by selling more copper, not only here in the United States, but to foreign countries, that it would increase our job.
Which could ignite another copper boom. In Miami Globe, Jessica Canales, Cronkite News.
Salmonella, E. coli, and listeria, all types of foodborne illnesses everyone wants to avoid. What if there was a new method of preserving meat products and fresh produce that didn't involve harsh chemicals? Reporter Dana Lewandowski explains what scientists at the University of Arizona are working on.
With more than 250 well-known foodborne illnesses, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says we should be more cautious about the food we put in our bodies. Scientists at the University of Arizona have been working on 3 plant-based antimicrobials, a spray, powder, and a liquid wash. Some are even flavored. These could replace the harsh chemicals used today to preserve food products.
We test these compounds in a laboratory medium at the cultures of the bacterium and try to see if they are able to kill the bacteria. And once they did that, then we started applying them on food products.
How do consumers feel about using plant-based antimicrobials on their food? Volunteers participated in a study, and the feedback had them wanting to come back for seconds.
A lot of people actually wanted to come back and do this study because they thought it was a cool concept, and also I think the idea of cinnamon roll flavored spinach or lettuce kind of appealed to them, and it's healthy, it's accredited by the FDA, so I think nobody's had an issue so far.
According to the CDC, 1 in 6 Americans get sick every year because of contaminated food or drinks. One dietitian from ASU's College of Health Solutions says it's important that we take measures to prevent these illnesses, and more people today are joining in on using all-natural products.
For delaying and preventing bacterial growth, well, that's great. You can use products that are already basically grown. Mother Nature's grown to help them reduce the microbial growth. Let's use them. Let's use Mother Nature to our advantage.
So far, the scientists are still looking for investors and working with Tech Launch Arizona to do more customer surveys about the antimicrobials. In Tucson, Dana Lewandowski, Cronkite News.
For many, a holiday dinner includes turkey or ham, but there's another meat dish enjoyed by some Arizona families this time of year. And as Cronkite News reporter Lillian Griego shows us, the recipe is originally from Mexico.
At Birrería Obregón, the specialty is an authentic meat dish.
La birria es un platillo muy tradicional.
Birria is a very traditional dish in the Mexican community, and we include it in our celebrations and holidays.
Birria began in the Mexican state Jalisco. It's made out of goat. Other regions of Mexico use lamb or beef.
The secret for a great birria is for it to be tender. This meat over here has been cooking for about 3 hours and a half and still has a way to go. It can take up to 5 hours for it to be ready.
In Mexico, it takes even longer if the meat is cooked in the traditional way, underground in a pit for 12 hours. Efrain says the secret recipe for all good birria is
La combinación de especies.
The combination of spices, the time and love you put into making it.
Birria is what brings customers back to the restaurant.
My body craves this dish.
Luis Munive has been eating birria here for a decade. For many, that taste brings back memories of home.
I don't know how to make it. I have relatives who make a very delicious birria, so it's something I've grown up eating my entire life.
Hectic work schedules and busy holidays mean more families in Phoenix are eating their birria at a restaurant or taking it to go. For Cronkite News, Lilian Griego.
An Arizona high schooler senior landed a perfect score on the ACT college admissions test, and it was only her second time taking it. Cronkite News reporter Alicia Gonzalez tells us just how rare that is.
Most of the college students in this room had to take either the ACT or the SAT college admissions test just to get here. Some may have taken a few practice courses, and some may have just winged it. I met with one Arizona high school student who pretty much did just that.
I looked at it, and I guess to me it still hasn't hit me as exceptional yet. I just saw it and I was like, oh, okay, cool, 36.
Although the big 36 may not sound like a big deal to Ruth Oliver, she's part of a very small percentage of students.
Less than 0.1% of students who take the ACT achieve a 36 composite score, and that's very, very consistent from year to year.
According to ACT research, over 36,000 Arizona students took the ACT last academic year, and only 24 earned perfect scores.
Like, the teachers want you to do good, but at the same time, they want you to be enjoying yourself.
Oliver says it's her regular schooling that prepared her for the test, not any specific prep books or courses. Apparently, that's not unusual.
You'd be surprised how many students take the ACT, and when they're surveyed about, hey, what'd you do, in terms of prep, the answer is absolutely nothing. I mean, they didn't even crack open a practice test to see what it was going to look like. I mean, it's hard to believe, but a high percentage of students go in cold.
Oliver's teacher says she can thank her natural curiosity for the score.
One really cool thing about Ruth is that she is really happy as she does her work. She's, ooh, that's interesting. Oh, I wonder why this.
I always find something in each worksheet or project we do, one thing that makes it exciting, or try and make it different, or make it your own.
If you are actually going to take the time to prepare for the test, the best thing to do is at least look at a practice test. That way you're comfortable with the format, and you'll be much more comfortable during the actual test. In the First Amendment Forum, Alicia Gonzalez, Cronkite News.
The Republican National Committee was the scene of a conversation between President-elect Donald Trump's transition team and leaders of minority advocacy organizations. Reporter Sabella Scalisa is in Washington, D.C. with what went on behind closed doors.
A week after the elections and days after Latino group leaders requested to meet with the president-elect's transition team, they, along with 25 other elected officials from minority groups, had their request granted to meet here at the RNC.
Wednesday's meeting followed a campaign season during which President-elect Trump often made headlines with his comments attacking certain minority groups. But members of those groups who were here say they hope dialogue in meetings like this will help remedy a negative narrative.
What we've heard are solutions. I think what we have seen and what we've heard are new models to solve old problems. We have downstairs a group of folks who are directly connected to people at the city level, at the county level, and at the state level. These individuals have great constituencies, and they've been servicing them in an elected official capacity, so they're closest to the problems.
Arturo Vargas was part of a coalition of Latino groups that said last week they were willing to work with the incoming Trump administration, but were also prepared to push back.
Questions remain. We continue to have questions, and that's why we're here. We want to be able to understand how this administration is going to put itself together when it takes office on January 20th.
Another host of the gathering came away from the meeting with a positive outlook.
And, you know, I certainly think that we've had an important first step here today, and we will see how things develop. But, you know, I'm certainly encouraged in terms of the productive conversations we've had today.
The meeting was closed to the media, but members in attendance say this meeting will be one of many in the upcoming weeks and months. In Washington, D.C., Sabella Scalise, Cronkite News.
A different kind of Thanksgiving preparation is underway for one Arizona native turned master chef. Cronkite News reporter Claire Caulfield was in Washington, D.C. to see what he's bringing to the table.
My name is Freddie Butsui. I am the executive chef at Mitatam Cafe at the National Museum of the American Indian, Washington, D.C. And it makes me like food curator for a Native American food exhibition. Okay, so this right here we have is a 5-region sample with sumac sauce. Living on the reservation, we only had access to 5 television stations. I'd watch the cooking shows, and then I'd figure out, you know, what's going on and just learning from the basics. But becoming a chef was something that was never really in my scope. And I went to a UNM branch in Gallup. And quickly, you know, declared my major as an anthropology major and my minor as art history. And little did I know that those 2 disciplines would guide me toward food. What are the classic dishes that the Native people have been making, like the classic dishes to Hopi, to Navajo, the classic dishes to Pueblo cultures? So if these plants and animals were to tell their story about how they started to be consumed throughout thousands of years, that's the story that I was looking to tell. The example that I always use, the tribes in Nova Scotia and Maine and Massachusetts had access to really good clams. So what they would do is they'd get the sunchokes and the clams and add it and cook it with seawater. So one of my signature dishes is a clam soup with leek. And truthfully, people say things like, how can that be Native American if you're adding leeks, thyme, bay leaf, and chicken stock? But my job as a chef is to tell you that there was an original dish hundreds of years ago, and because people were making that particular dish, it got carried on. So when the British came, and that's when they added their cream and their butter, and that's how we get modern-day New England clam chowder.
This Thanksgiving, some might want to give thanks that the elections are finally over. But given how controversial this campaign season was, extra guests might be at the table. Sabella Scalise is in Washington, D.C. with tips on how to get past the politics while saying pass the gravy.
As people head home for the holidays, they are preparing for a different type of conversation around this year's table.
There will be turkey with a side of politics, I suppose. For a lot of families, it will be impossible to avoid this topic on Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving travelers have mixed feelings on the possibility of mixing politics with potatoes.
Yeah, sure. We'll talk politics. We talk politics the way most people talk sports.
Gosh, I would so rather avoid that subject. I don't want to talk about it at all.
Etiquette expert Crystal Bailey has some suggestions to avoid a food fight.
I think if you're going to bring up politics, to first think about why you're bringing it up. Are you bringing it up so that we have this hot topic, fiery debate that's going to, end in everyone walking away from the table in the middle of dinner? Or are you bringing it up to learn something and to get an understanding of what everyone has to say?
Other Thanksgiving travelers offered their suggestions and topics for families that want to avoid politics altogether.
Trips, future travel plans, New Year resolutions, what we're going to do in the next year, professional plans, families, things like that, I guess.
It's going to come up, and then we're just going to say, drink your champagne, just shush.
In Washington, D.C., Sabella Scalise, Cronkite News.
Occasionally, a letter reaches Cronkite News with a story idea.
This one came from an unlikely place, La Palma Correctional Center in Eloy. It was from a California inmate at the Pinal County Prison. In the letter, inmates want to draw our attention to an art program creating murals just like the one you see behind me. They call the mural room a sort of sanctuary, a common ground filled with diversity, beauty, and a message of acceptance for all of us to come and study. Reporter Tyler Finger takes us behind bars to see these creations.
From the outside, La Palma Correctional Center in Eloy looks much like any other prison. Concrete walls, barbed wire, fencing, and all. But on the inside, a work of art is making the place feel like home.
It's light, you know, it's not just walls and bars or same old thing.
One of those calling La Palma home, at least for now, is Andrew Valencia. He's a part of the prison's residential drug abuse program. He helped turn this blank canvas into a room filled with color.
This was the first time we've ever had this opportunity. And you know, when you're doing prison time, you try to be productive. And all you got really is pens, paper, pencil, and you try to be creative. And so that's why he created this, bring back a lot of memories.
The group filled the room with what they knew, from the Hollywood sign to pro football teams.
This one and this.
You see, all of La Palma's inmates are from California, housed at the medium security facility through a private prison contract. It took 3 months to paint the mural in this room, but the lessons learned will last a lifetime.
I got the opportunity to express myself through art and accomplish this. That's something I've never got the chance to.
Juan Ulloa is taking the experience of painting this prison Picasso and putting it to good use, helping others at the prison make something they could be proud of.
The art class has gone very well, and I love what it represents and what they're trying to return to the community with the art.
This was from their first day. I've reached some of my dreams in a way because I always wanted to teach an art class, and I was able to do that. Because when I get out, I want to help at-risk youth and give them an outlet and be a mentor and let them express themselves through art.
For the prison staff, things like the mural are part of the process as they prepare them for a life beyond these walls.
We've done small murals, but nothing to compare to this. It's an expression, but these guys went out of their way and really expressed what California means to them.
Part of the process that these inmates wouldn't have received if it weren't for an incredibly caring staff.
A lot of times when you have this opportunity, because we don't get it in California, you take advantage of it.
A mural with a message that shows being behind bars doesn't have to be the end, but rather just the first step toward a new beginning. In Eloy, Tyler Finger, Cronkite News.
Both of the inmates that Cronkite News spoke with plan to do something with art once they leave prison. La Palma Correctional Center is contracted to house inmates from the California Department of Corrections.
First, a dancer on the Dance Moms TV show, and now the owner of her own online business. Cronkite News reporter Alicia Gonzalez tells us how this 16-year-old from Cave Creek is trying to spread positivity through the dance world.
When I was on my way to meet Tessa Wilkinson, I was expecting to meet a dance diva. Instead, I was met with a down-to-earth teen who just wants to take control of her own life and get out of a negative environment.
Dancers aren't just judged on their talent. They're also judged on their looks, body type, even their hair color.
In the industry, it all just depends on people picking you. You know, if you have brown hair, if blah, blah, blah.
But it's not as insane as some reality TV shows try to make it look, according to these two former Dance Moms cast members.
The dance industry is not crazy bad like it's represented.
However, when you learn the magnitude of what it could do for a career, then you try to like it. You know, then you try to say, okay, there's got to be some good in this.
Tessa said she needed to take back control of her life after an intense 3 seasons of Dance Moms and be her own boss. So she created a place for dancers like her to turn to.
Give something, make a business, make a company that dancers can go on and learn things and feel confident and positive, and then I brought those products in.
Her online store includes inspirational messages and blogs giving advice. Tessa says the products are to help make the lives of other dancers easier, knowing the rigorous lifestyle herself.
I'm still in it. I'm 16. I'm still in the business. I'm dancing. I'm auditioning, so I know what a dancer needs, and I'm still experiencing it.
Jack Lunsford from Arizona Small Business Association says starting at such a young age gives Tessa an edge.
For young people to have that kind of experience is extremely important
for their success in the future.
He said there's one thing that's vital for anyone's success.
It's important, regardless of whether you're 50 years old and starting a business or whether you're 16 years old and starting a business, to have that support system.
For Tessa, that support system is her family, who has helped her every step of the way.
Tessa says she plans on continuing her dancing career and to give her business the equal time it deserves. She's in her senior year of online high school and is ready to leap right into college next fall. In the Broadcast Center, Alicia Gonzalez, Cronkite News.
A few months ago, Cronkite News introduced you to Sparky's Service Dogs, an ASU campus club that helps raise puppies with a purpose. And now the first dog from the program is heading to a new home. Reporter Tyler Finger was there as the Black Lab said goodbye to ASU.
I've actually been around him since the day he opened his eyes.
Some might say the bond between an owner and her dog is like mother and child.
He's my little wiggle worm.
Just ask Arizona State University senior Taylor Randall about Kristoff, and she lights up.
About Kristoff?
For the last year and a half, Kristoff has been by her side, from his first steps in his shoes to the endless belly rubs. Kristoff was in training with ASU Sparky's Service Dogs, with Taylor as his trainer.
So that's him telling me something's wrong.
Taylor has prepared him with all of the skills he'll need to succeed at helping his future owner. But the thing he hasn't prepared her for is leaving.
So it's kind of bittersweet, hard to say goodbye, but you know that they're gonna make a difference in someone else's life, so it's worth it.
After spending almost 2 years training at Arizona State, Taylor said goodbye to Kristoff as he headed off to his new home, where he'll transition from a playful pup to a diabetic alert dog every day.
Sit. Good boy.
This is Mia. She's 6 years old and has type 1 diabetes, but you wouldn't know that by looking at her here. She's full of energy, exactly the way it should be.
Kristoff, Hannah, help me with my diabetes.
But for Mia's mom, Tiffany, Kristoff is going to do a whole lot more.
Everything that she goes through on a daily basis that no child should go through, to have somebody that loves her and can protect her at the same time and help her is something that most people can't have.
Even before Kristoff's first official day with the family, he was already showing that love.
When she was in the hospital like a week ago, Jessa brought her, and her anxiety went from being terrified to calm in no time.
And as Mia heads home with Kristoff, she's excited about one thing: playtime.
Ball, and we won, and him get me on my back.
Man's best friend making it a little easier for a little girl to have one more reason to smile. In Phoenix, Tyler Finger, Cronkite News.
Now, here's an @Cronkite News Pick of the Week, a favorite from the Cronkite News staff.
Everyone has an addiction to something, whether that be using substances, not shopping too much. It all stems from that lack of feeling great.
Addiction is nothing new in Angie Guerin's life. Growing up, she says it seemed like everyone around her was abusing some substance, but she never imagined following doctors' orders would put her on the same path.
I was completely and totally addicted. I had no clue.
This isn't something that's just for those people that you think have drug addiction problems. It's actually can be a daily occurrence that your neighbor on the street who looks sweet and friendly can actually have an opioid problem.
Teresa Stickler fills prescriptions nearly every day and says the potential for one of her customers to be abusing does cross her mind.
How do I decide which patients am I going to keep and not keep, which ones really have pain or which don't? I assume the doctor knows which patients really have the pain.
The best way to crack down on these excessive sales is to have doctors check to see if the patient they're giving a prescription to has gotten prescriptions from other physicians. And that's what the monitoring system is all about.
This year, the state legislature implemented a mandatory prescription drug monitoring program and facilitated access to the opiate deterrent naloxone.
Injection complete.
The two programs together provide a way to tackle the problem on two fronts. One decreases the possibility of an excess of pills on the street. The second provides an emergency help to those at risk of overdose, and both do it without overstepping doctor-patient relations.
I think we've gone pretty far, so we're going to ease our way into the ones that may not require, a full 50 caliber attack.
The legislative efforts have kept Arizona in the fight against the opioid epidemic, according to the National Association for Model State Drug Laws. Between 2009 and 2014, the state's rank in number of overdose deaths dropped 9 places to 15th. But according to the Arizona Department of Health Services, this may not signal improvement.
The overdose deaths are not actually decreasing. I think it's more of a matter of we're kind of holding our own compared to other states whose rates have significantly worsened.
In order to build an adequate foundation to tackle the opioid epidemic, the National Association for Model State Drug Laws suggests that states implement naloxone access, prescription drug monitoring programs, Good Samaritan laws, and adequate intervention programs. Arizona lacks Good Samaritan laws, and although intervention programs are being developed, advocates say it's just not enough.
We say that we care about people's lives, but we're pretty quick to lock them up as well.
Advocates say Good Samaritan laws save lives by building trust between drug users and law enforcement.
What we're trying to do is increase people calling for help. It's just like with a heart attack, the difference between survival and death is how soon you get help.
The legislation has been proposed in the state before, but opinions on how and if it should be implemented have blocked its passage. Still, one thing everyone agrees on is that the most important program to push forward is one that educates the public on drug abuse and helps Arizonans understand everyone plays a role in the problem and solution.
I think the biggest negligence lies in society in general. We have created a society where we all deserve a quick fix, and we are all looking for something to make it easier.
Cronkite News tracks your likes, tweets, and shares from all our social sites to bring you this news special at Cronkite News, our weekly refresh. Join the conversation so you choose the news. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, and log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org for top Arizona stories anytime.